Welcome to Everything Money. We're glad you joined us again, as always. Today, we're talking about Bionano Genomics. This is gene mapping. Did you say I just called you Poe? Paul and Mo.
BNGO, BNGO,
and Paul and Mo. What's his name? Mo, what do these people do? Listen to me. I have a PhD in chemistry, but not this type of chemistry. What are they doing? Do you know?
So from my very basic understanding, what they do is they do some kind of test on you, probably a blood sample, and they go through and look for any gene, this is very difficult to say, gene abnormalities or any diseases that you are prone to or any cancers that you are prone to. So that's where, and as Tim said, Cathie Wood is very big on this whole sector as a disruptive technology.
So the ticker symbol is BNGO. We've been asked about this stock a ton of times, Bionano Genomics. And yesterday they hired a new chief commercial officer. The guy's name is, what is his name? Anyway, I reached out to him on LinkedIn, asked him to come on the show, tell us what he's going to do. His vision for BNGO.
So how much did it go up yesterday?
It went up to 22% in this article.
Okay, so
maybe
it went up
more.
22%. The current market cap is now $2.2 billion. So basically it went up $500 million because they hired somebody. Let's look at their revenue. $10.5 million in the previous year.
Is that a lot or little? Oh, Paul, you make that. Oh, I see.
$2.2 billion in revenue. Oh, my company did well over $10.5 million in revenue last year, and we're not worth $2.2 billion.
2.2 in market cap, you mean?
Market cap, yes, correct. So everybody's like, Paul, you don't get it. It's the future. Let me remind everybody of this. I want you to go on this little thing called a computer. I want you to go to Google. Mm-hmm. I want you to type in all the car companies that went belly up in the early 1900s, in the first half century. I want you to go find all the airlines that went belly up in the first half century. I want you to go to 2000 and find all the internet companies that went belly up. The cars were the future. Computer companies. Everybody remember a computer company called Gateway Computers? So look up car companies, airlines, computers, internet companies, all in the last 100 years. These are the big growth markets. Nobody argues that the internet is bigger than it was 20 years ago. Computers are bigger than they were 40 years ago. Airplanes are bigger than they were 70 years ago. And cars are bigger than they were 100 years ago.
This is a great point, but there are very, very famous car companies. Always say this, go look it up. I'm envisioning none of our viewers actually go look up anything, but just to refresh your memory, if your grandpas talk about Studebakers, Oldsmobiles, Packards, Pontiacs, DeSoto, Plymouth, Mercury made a bunch of great cars, Tucker, American Motor Corp, DeLorean,
forget about
Saturn,
the ones that made
Hummer.
Forget about the ones that made it.
Right.
I'm talking about the ones that just started because, oh my God, it's the future. Well, of course it's the future, but if it's the future and everybody goes there to start a company, they're going to be failures. Right now, we're doing a lot of marijuana and cryptocurrency.
Yes.
There will be lots of failures. I'm not saying all cryptocurrency is going to zero, but the vast majority are going to have problems. Same thing with marijuana. When there's a lot of hype, just because the market is huge doesn't mean that every company in it is going to do well. Yeah. That is the first mistake that investors make. They look at the market and say, this market's going to be huge, therefore every single... No. Guys, you still have to buy things at reasonable prices. Look at the shares outstanding for this company. You ready? 5.2 million, 5.2 million, 10.2, 35.6, 264 million shares outstanding.
Now, that's just not like a little sell-off.
No, that's just selling tons. They're 50 times more shares than they had 5 years ago. 50 times more. Let me explain something to you guys. This company could very well end up being the future of genomics, of genomes and gene mapping and all that stuff. But if you buy this company purely because you think that, without any sort of understanding,
I know where he's going.
You are stupid. It could end up being right, but you'll be right because the sun shines on dog poop every once in a while. A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. A wrong clock is right twice a day. Don't confuse luck with intelligence. Don't confuse a good market with intelligence. You guys are excited about this. This is the chart you're excited about.
When you mean you guys, you mean buyers yesterday, right? I mean everybody.
But look at this, Seth. This was 70, 80 cents. It went up to freaking $15. People saw this and were like, this is exciting. Then it went down here. Now yesterday, it popped. Why? Because they hired a new guy. This is exciting. It's like, really? They hired a new person.
What can we do instead, Paul? What is the point of the show? Which
You can mail your check to my house.
Oh, no.
I will take the money. I will buy a bunch of watches and airplanes and cars, and it'll be better invested than you putting your money in this crap.
You're not even
Guys,
giving them a chance.
If you really believe in this from a fundamental perspective, you don't understand fundamentals. If you believe the future of this company is the future, you don't I guarantee it's some 14-year-old pimply kid sitting in his parents' basement going, well, the stock of the future is this thing. Congratulations, you're a moron.
And scene.
At the end of the day, it's no coincidence that all the best investors of all time would ignore a company like this.
It's funny, Paul. Mo, this morning you were talking about your style of investing, and someone said, these dinosaurs just don't get it. And I said to myself, dinosaurs were around for 150 million years, and this guy's loved a cryptocurrency for 4 months because some guy on YouTube says it's great. So you're not even, obviously you're not getting anywhere near this company at the moment.
I put my entire net worth in this company.
That's a great plan.
They'll probably have plenty of shares available. Guess what? They're going to have 1 billion shares in no time.
Funny for you to buy.
Now, we do get comments, Paul, is that there is money to be made on this up and down.
Trading.
So 100%.
Trading. If you're going to trade the stock, it's a totally different thing than buying. But the funny part is everybody justifies their trades with fundamentals. The second you talk about fundamentals, it's all about fundamentals. The second you bring up the future of the company, that's fundamentals. All a company is, all an investment is the present value of all future cash flow, right?
The present value of all future
I always
cash
tell
flow.
people this. A company that has -10, -5, -3, 0, 1, 5, 15, there's a present value to this. I'm okay with paying a price for negative cash flow day one. The problem you have here is you have a price of, what did they lose last year? What did they even lose in profit last year?
This is the Everything Money software you get as being part of our Patreon. You do get access to the software, and people are loving it. Go ahead, Paul.
And look, every year the profit is going worse and worse and worse.
Oh, Lord.
So you have increasing losses. Now, will that turn around? Yeah, if they're right on this, it could be. But how much is this company worth if it actually does everything it's supposed to say? A couple $100 billion?
Yeah.
So your chance of losing all your money in this is way higher than your chance of making 100 times your money on this thing.
I guess to slow it all down, the point is just that, right? Like
It's all speculation.
$1 is $1, and right now, this would not, in your opinion, be the best place to put it, but backing this company.
No.
Why not?
Because
You get so passionate about
because
this, Paul.
people are always looking for the home run.
Everybody wants to buy. Like I look at a chart and like Paul was showing, why do you have to catch the stock right here? Like why do you have to go from here to here?
By the way, they didn't care when it was 80 cents. Are you telling me the company was any different a year ago when it was 80 cents? It was still the same kind of company. It was still doing the same thing. All of a sudden now you care. Why do you care? Because of that chart right there.
Why does it have
That's
to go
the
up
only reason
like
you care.
15,000%?
Everybody says buy low, sell high, but you're the morons out there who are buying high, and then when you finally give up on it, when it's back to 80 cents, you'll have some stupid excuse for it. The only excuse I'm going to say if it becomes a $300 stock is, all right, just like playing the lottery.
But
just like if you had a gun with 100 bullets in it and it had 100 slots for bullets, you put one bullet in there, 1 out of 100 times, you're going to be wrong and end up dead in Russian roulette. That's just it. It's just statistics. It's just numbers. That's all it is, guys.
Now let's say the company does get to $300 a share and the numbers make sense. Okay, go buy it there. There's still going to be growth from there.
Yeah. And it's still gonna make more sense.
You just didn't need to buy it at 80 cents and run it to 300 because the risk was insane.
You all want to make 1,000,000% tomorrow. I'm gonna tell you right now, go look at the best investors of all time. They didn't make money, they didn't make their wealth from getting one company that went up 10,000%. It did not happen.
It's a slow, you've taught me.
It's a bunch of singles and doubles and triples.
Little. Like I'm thinking to myself, just a little bit of like.
You gotta get on
You bought
base.
30 boring companies last year on July 1st. You're up 60-some%. The market's up 30-some%.
Well, that's not enough.
40.
That's not enough for some people, Paul. We've gotten to this stance where it's just not
Great.
enough.
You know what the news is? You're gonna end up with less money because you're gonna be chasing.
Now they tell you, we hear a lot that you're wrong, but then it's like folks, this is the show. I've never met somebody this passionate about this. And Paul, it's frankly just so successful.
Well,
I mean, in doing all this, you managed the money.
Well, in the last 3 or 4 years, it hasn't been very successful, and that's what people look at. Well, what about the last 3 or 4 years?
You're
Great.
talking about your stock returns.
Yeah, correct. But in
the
my other
whole
returns
thing-
with business and real estate and all that stuff, I mean, it's always the joke. People are like, hey, how have you done the last few years? I'm like, okay, so you're gonna look at the best times in the market when everybody is up.
But-
The best investors have the bear market when everybody else is having a bull market. That's literally every single statistic. You go look back at the best investors, they do worse when the market is up a lot. When the morons like you people out there who love this at $2 billion, they're avoiding you guys like the plague. They look at you and say, oh my God, the dumb money's here, we're out.
And he says repeatedly over and over, don't judge me on a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Judge me on 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Even our patrons will write me a letter of emails saying, Paul, you were right about this. I'm like, hang on. That was 6 months ago. I'm not right yet. Let's wait 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At least a full bull and bear market cycle. But you guys are all going to Cathie Wood going, well, she's up a lot in the last year.
Mo, are people, look to me, from what I'm learning from our employed trader series, this thing is looking pretty okay with that chart. Go back, though.
So this is the long-term chart. You see there's not a lot of detail on here. For a company like this that's just like really up and down and up and down, I would rather go and swing trade this thing. Now, you have to be careful. Look at this volume that happened when you had this big run-up, and then the volume is basically non-existent.
No one cares.
No one cares. But if you're going to do something, just trade it on either a 15-minute chart or swing trade it. You're above all your major moving averages. It popped over its 100-day moving average today. See if you can get some green engulfing candlesticks moving up. See if you can get to this level of $14 or so. That's the best way to go about this. But even with that, go find something else. This thing's chaos. I mean, what did they do? Elected a new CFO and the stock price bumped?
No, yes. They hired a new chief janitor.
Chief.
Let's say you fire that janitor tomorrow. This thing is going to plummet down to here.
It wasn't really a janitor. It was like a management or marketing person.
Chief commercial officer.
What does a chief commercial officer even mean?
He's in charge of the commercials.
He's with a couple other great companies, and he must have been doing well because they like him here now. So, you're talking about ARK, Paul.
ARK's at 112. ARK's at 112. Hit 160. Went down to 100. Oh, sorry. Went down to 100. Now it's at 112. And by the way, guys, what's the market done since February? And this thing is down 30%.
S&P's almost at an all-time high again.
All right, you guys are right. I'm wrong. How much you want to bet ARK's going to be down a lot in the next few years? How much you want to bet?
How much you want to make a bet?
Anybody, email me, paul@everythingmoney.com. Email with your bet. I want to see money in an escrow account. Name your bet.
No,
5 years from now.
Copy me on that. Mo@everythingmoney.com.
Just kidding. I don't think we can make bets on the internet, but either way.
You do like betting, though. You do like betting. Big dollars.
By the way, let's put it this way. Everybody thinks I'm stupid, right? On LinkedIn a few years ago, I said, who wants to make a $50,000 bet with me, invest for 10 years? Not a single person took me up on it. And all the people who told me I was wrong have 50 grand lying around. And it's not even due for 10 more years. It's 5,000 a year. So all these money managers who all make $1 million a year all telling me I'm wrong, I offered the bet out there. Nobody took it. Why? Because at the end of the day, people know I'm right. That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
One of our classmates said he would take the bet with me, but he wants the S&P 500. He still beat me. I'm like, I'll take that. And then he never did anything about it. I was like, outside, you can take the S&P 500. By the way, which I thought was funny because he's the biggest Tesla. He's a big Tesla guy. Yeah. Yet he wanted the S&P 500. I'm like, wait a second. But you're a big Tesla guy. Well, shouldn't you take Tesla?
So in terms of BNGO, we are avoiding it if you haven't caught the drift quite yet. And there's a lot better places which you can find on our Patreon to put your money. So go ahead. If this resonates with you, go ahead and click the link below to join our Patreon, and you can get more scathing reviews.
And let me also make a comment. We have 46,000 subscribers as of this morning. By the way, congratulations on 46,000.
Yeah.
My goal is to get like-minded people. If you don't agree with me, I'm fine with that. Move on. Trust me when I say this, years from now, you'll be sitting in your bed, covering yourself, going, why am I broke? And you're going to remember Uncle Paul seeing on the Everything Money channel telling you you're going to be broke. You're going to lose a lot of money because I've been through 2 booms and 2 busts, and nobody who was around back in those booms and busts who bet on these things is around today. This is an absolute fact. I cannot remember a single person around today that was around for those booms in stocks and real estate that are around today. This is not a fluke. This is what happens in every bull market. And at some point, you will realize that, hey, there's another way. Because I didn't buy into it as much as as other people did back in 2000. But I lost money buying tech stocks in 2000. I lost money doing that. And I remember thinking to myself, there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way. And then all of a sudden one day I heard somebody talking about value investing, and I'm like, that's it. It clicked with me. Mm-hmm. So if you don't agree with me, I don't care. But for the people who do agree with me and agree with us and like the software and understand fundamentally it makes sense you're buying a piece of a business, trust me when I say it's worth $1 a day to come out here and get this software. and the community, and people talk. I can't even keep up with all the great conversations that happen, not because it's inundated, because we have 50 chats. There are 50 or 60 chats with different topics in each one. You're crazy for not signing up. And the price is just going up every single month. Every single month the price goes up. Get in now because your price is locked in.
And if this is starting to speak to you, go and find other companies that resemble this one and just start learning and understanding why. And then you'll really start understanding us. You'll be able to join in with us. You're going to start thinking like us, and life is going to be so much easier for you.
That's our take. Tickle a thumbs up on the way out. Go ahead and put a comment down there, and we'll have someone argue with you. That's our take. See you guys.
And if Seth responds to you, please tell him he's not allowed to respond to messages.
Even the haters. Even the haters.
If Seth comments to you, just say, Seth, you're not allowed to be reading the comments.
Thanks for joining us.
He'll listen
Thanks
eventually.
For joining us. See you guys.
Bye.